Skip this intro. Karate Kid Legends. It's on Netflix. Back to the nostalgia well. We've covered this before. Do we have a breakthrough? Slightly, maybe, a little bit. It follows the tried and true Karate Kid formula. We got a new kid in town. We've got him bullied by evil kids at the dojo. Why are they this way? We don't know. He's just a fucking douche. We've got the new girlfriend. We've got the worried mom character. We've got the girlfriend's dad who's got money problems. And of course, we got Jackie Chan. We got the original Daniel LaRusso back. It's cinematic Mad Libs. They're just dropping in what they need. And this movie is whip quick too. It is barely 90 minutes. So that means they're using montages a lot in this movie. Like, you know, the training sequence, the getting over the girl sequence. But what they do is actually pretty creative. Since they use montages so much, they kind of borrowed from Ocean's 11, the one that had Brad Pitt in it. They do this thing where they're showing you the montage of how they're training for something and also the event simultaneously. This is feel-good movie pizza. You're not going to get an ounce of originality, but you don't want that. It's going to be told with flair. It's going to have style to it. You're going to get that hit of nostalgia, of course, that you want. You even get to see Mr. Miyagi, and he's been dead for like 2 decades now. But he's in it, and it's a scene I don't remember, so maybe it was an outtake. You know exactly what's going to happen in this movie. There are no surprises. Good guys win, bad guys lose. The new kid is likable. He's more likable than Jaden Smith. Of course, you've got Jackie and Ralph in it. You love them. The villain is douchey and punchable. The girlfriend is likable. The girlfriend's dad is likable. There's a lot to like about this movie, and it's so quick that before you even have a chance to think about it, it's over. So far, this is one of the few instances where that throwback nostalgia hit works. I like this movie, so check out the Karate Kid Legends on Netflix. The next movie is a movie called Good Boy. I had been wanting to see this. I waited for it to show up at the movie theater. It's not quite a horror movie, but it's intended to be a horror movie, but from the perspective of the dog, which I thought, how did it take so long for somebody to come up with this as an idea? Is that the father dies, leaving a cursed family home to his family. So what's the first thing his already sick and ailing son does? Yeah, he sells his apartment and moves into the cursed home. Seems like a great idea as long as you got the dog in tow, right? Hints are dropped along the way that this guy is sick with something in his lungs. It sure seems like tuberculosis because he's always coughing up blood or something. So he moves out to this to this cursed family home out in the woods, which also happens to have a family cemetery plot where he name checks that other relatives have died young. It's not looking like a good place for him to be. Oh, and it rains every day there. So the dog, Indy, starts seeing creepy shit right away that the human is not seeing. He's seeing these weird slime monster things. He's seeing ghost dogs. There's been other dogs there before, and these dogs are like, roof, roof, roof. They're warning him of like shit that's to come. And I know that sounds silly at first, but there are some genuine like good scares in the movie. They got me a couple times with a jump or like the little hairs on your arms start standing up. And he really is like a good dog. The fact you're rooting for the dog immediately. I can't imagine anybody who's not rooting for the dog in the dog movie. And I love the way that the camera constantly hovers at snout level. It like totally immerses you in this dog's world. Though I did think it was an odd stylistic choice to not show any of the people's faces. For like the first 45 minutes of the movie, I thought it was really weird. I'm like, well, dogs look at people's faces. Why are they actually going out of their way to kind of like Charlie Brown's teacher, all these people? You never quite see all of them. And it's not until later in the movie where you discover, oh, here's why. And I don't want to spoil anything for you. You'll get it when you see it. You all know I'm a fan of short movies. This one is actually way too short. I would have liked to have seen more of this. The movie clocks in at only like 71 minutes. It's something super short to go see in the movie theater. So I don't know if I can recommend you actually going out and spending a lot of money just to sit through this short thing. But what they do as like a bonus content, as soon as the credits start, they're super quick. They go into a making of feature, which is like, you know, it's like 10, 15 minutes all about how they made this movie. Because apparently the whole movie was made by like 2 or 3 people and their dog, and that's it. They just kind of made it in their home or made it in places where they knew they could get away with filming. And it really was neat to see how they got a dog to act, because in this little making of, they stress over and over, he does not know that he's in a movie. They just have the camera out and he's just doing like, you know, what they can convince him to do. And sometimes some of the things just to like make him look at something shockingly, like, is just them taking something and going like jingle, 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 and getting him to turn his head up that way. And because you see him look, and the next thing you see something is scary, you just interpret it as like, oh, the dog's frightened, when meanwhile the dog has no idea. He's just looking like, why are you shaking your keys? What are you doing? That little feature at the end kind of gave it this mom and pop feel of getting to see behind the scenes of how just like a guy, his wife, and maybe a couple friends made a movie that actually made it to the movie theater. And that's really impressive nowadays. So if you're at all curious about it, yes, go see it in the movie theater. These people deserve to be like, you know, rewarded for something so cool that they made. But if, you know, it's probably not going to be in the theater as much beyond Halloween. So when it eventually comes to stream wherever, definitely put aside the short amount of time it takes to see this. Okay, for the throwback, we got a real oddball. And I only chose this because I found this in a bin full of clothes. And as a guy who sees a lot of weird movies, I had never heard of this. So of course I gotta watch it. It's called Time Waits for Snowman. So you have to take into consideration that things like this existed before YouTube and the internet did. If you were into skiing, like what were you gonna do as a kid? You know, were you gonna just look at a magazine? It was like, no. Sometimes video rental stores would get these weird promo advertisement / they tried to make them into a little goofy movie, and that's what Time Waits for Snowman is. It's very out there. So in this little ski movie, it's a lot of them doing their complicated stunts, which is impressive, and they pepper into it. They're trying to loosely, and I mean very loosely, like a music video, connect this story. There's some evil corporation that's out to stop them from making their movie. Now, it's important to know that the evil corporations are not the evil corporations which you will see advertisements for in this movies, like Swatch, and there was like ski boot companies in there. They make a real concerted effort to kind of like no, these are the good guys. Swatch is good. This evil corporation, yeah, they're the bad ones trying to stop us. And for a little weird movie like this, it actually has a really good soundtrack. Now, hopefully Facebook won't flag this, because I doubt anywhere anybody has this. Listen to like some of these bangers. Right? Oh. I hate how everything doesn't save to your phone nowadays. It's like in the cloud. It has to download it. I just wanted to play this back. Right? That's not bad for a no-budget ski movie from like the mid-'80s. So yeah, in between all these ski stunts, the evil corporation is there. They use all these cheesy mid-'80s video effects, which will make you laugh. And they come up with like bizarre ways to get at the ski guys. Like they bring out these voodoo dolls and they start like poking and pricking the voodoo doll, and then all of a sudden the guy wipes out. You know what it reminds me of? Is those 80s and 90s skate tapes. So if you're into that kind of culture where, you know, when Tony Hawk was, before he was Tony Hawk, they had all those skate tapes of them just having a camera and going around the neighborhood. That's kind of like what this is like. I got a kick out of, in one sequence, they actually take their skis and all their gear and they go to the desert and they try to ski on the dunes. They ski over rocks. And that's pretty ballsy because they're wiping out sometimes and you're not just falling in snow. Okay, so I had to look this up. They actually made a bunch of these movies. Not just Time Waits for Snowman. They also made Requiem, In the Key of Ski, The Good, the Rad, and the Gnarly, and Dr. Strangeglove. It actually brought me to a website called snowstorm.com, which weirdly enough, you'd think it would be a place where they would like highlight their videos. No, you can buy the soundtrack that I liked, but you can only buy it in digital form. There's no other, you'd think it'd be a way to be like, hey, come check out all these movies, even though they're a million years old. If that's what you're interested in, you could check them out. Sadly, there is nowhere to check these out. I looked all over YouTube. I couldn't find anything. So if you have a link to like all these other things, please send it in. I would like to see more, and hopefully you would too. Hey, thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching Quiet Corner TV, Red Hood Movie Reviews. You keep coming back, I'll keep watching, and I'll keep talking. Talk to you later.